Alright. We have got an exciting series between Hero from Dragon Phoenix Gaming up against Dark, also from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. And Dark, of course, one of the grittiest, most crazy Zerg players in the world, who has been playing so many exciting games recently. And to see these guys facing off in a best of 3 here in the King of Battles group stage, this is going to be awesome because Hero has really figured out how to push the Protoss economy as well as their cheesy builds to the extreme in this matchup. And I mean, Hero looks so good in GSL, for instance. I mean, Hero's just been murdering people left, right, and center. I still think he should have beat Maru it was actually this map, wasn't it? Where they played an epic game in GSL. And unfortunately, at some point, Hero just started massing Tempests versus Thors and Zealots and Stalkers versus Ghosts and Bio. That did not go well for him. But up to that point, I thought he was finding such good engagements and playing really well. And Hero is a really dynamic player. Like I said, he's known for being very cheesy, aggressive, micro-oriented, but he's actually been taking really quick economy and kind of just overwhelming Zergs recently, including against Dark in GSL, where he was swarming over Dark. And they played a really fun series in GSL where Dark was like way behind from pretty early on in most of those games, but fought really well from behind. And to be fair, to be critical of Hero, it felt like he was so obsessed with just trying to kill him with just Stalkers and Zealots. It looked like at some moments, Dark was going to be able to claw his way back into those games with just incredible defensive play. Roach, I mean, one game he was playing Roach Ravager Infesta out of desperation. Like, it's not really a composition you use versus Protoss, but when you're just like, oh, I've been stuck on 3 bases versus 5 bases for 5 minutes, maybe I'll win with Corrosive Bile Fungal combo. Who knows? It's kind of the, well, the only thing that's going to get me out of this one is a giant gamble, so we might as well go for broke. All right, we're going to Creep Tumor going down there, going to connect those bases. Pretty quick third going down. You do want to get that third pretty quick because Hero loves to get in here and block your third base with early adepts. That being said, he went Nexus before Cybercore this game. So this is going to be more of the economic version. The adept here is stopping drones from transferring down out of the main base. He could commit to that if he wanted to, but with 2 Zergs and a Queen on top, I think it's not worth it. There is another adept just guarding the wall. Second gateway goes down to create a nice thick choke point. And an extra pylon powering at the front as well. Stargate is building an Oracle. I do prefer the Oracle start to the Void Ray start. I really like players that build a Stalker here as well. So they can basically use the Stalker to kill the Overlord and deny the scouting. Even if there's an Overlord on the pillar, you can use your Oracle to spot it. And then you can just keep pumping Oracles across the map. Hero's going to be going for that. Dark is actually supply blocked on 44, but he's only got 1 lava, so it's only a minus supply block at least for now. The Adept is going to shade. Does get out of there. Okay, good dodging by Hero. Hero has some of the slipperiest adepts out there. No Spore on this base and only 1 Queen. Oh, Dark, it's 350. This is 101, mate. Oh, no. Oh, man. Big mistake having his Queen out of position, chasing after that adept. And that's the power of Hero. Hero is just more annoying with his adepts than normal players. Manages to pull him out of position. And Dark, he had 2 Queens and a Spore in the main base. He needed a Spore at the 3rd. Big mistakes by Dark here in the opening phase. Dark's openings are notoriously sloppy, by the way, for those who don't know. Notoriously sloppy. On the other hand, Dark refuses to die literally ever. He will not go down. He will not go down. No matter how much he falls behind, he's always a threat. It's like what Artosis used to say about Maru, you know, if you're ahead, you're even. And if you're even, you're behind. And if you're behind, you're dead. It's kind of the same with Dark, where it's like, dude, I feel like he's just the corpse that refuses to get in the bloody coffin. You know, he's the rigor mortis Zerg. It's like, you're just there and you're like, get in the coffin! And he's like, no, I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. You're like, God damn, you're trying to like bend him in there and he just refuses to go down. And he often makes comebacks from that position. So not that he's anywhere close to dead. Of course, he did fall behind in the economy early. We've got a quick third from Hero, and Hero is doing that charge style that he loves so much. Hero's been doing this a lot recently because he was doing so much Blink Stalkers for a few weeks. And it looks very similar to this build. I really like the change up because the Zealots just like YOLO across the map, hit a bit faster, they're cheaper, they're more expendable. So you can just like dive them into different mineral lines. Whereas the Zerg can kind of just have 1 blob of Queens and Roaches, defend the Stalkers, and if they have enough units to defend, well, they defend. But Zealots are so mobile, you can kind of dart in from many angles and cause them some trouble. So it's very important he hides these Zealots if possible. He's building a cannon. This is some of the worst positioning I've ever seen on those buildings. Oracles come in and do get 2 more drones, but they're all heavily bruised. That brings the total workers up to 7 kills, 8 Zealotlings and 4 creep tumors. Ooh, nice surround for Dark. Dark gets a really good surround. We're gonna go back to criticizing Hero's building placement in a moment. But yeah, oh, he does even somehow get that Adept out. But look at this, guys. He's just blocked off the whole middle part of his base. That's a big mistake. You do not want this pylon in the middle of your mineral line like that. You can put one building here, but not 2 right next to each other. That creates a big income disparity from where he should have it. That being said, we've got 4-gate Zealot going across the map. He's just running charge lots through the middle of the map, and he's done a good job of denying Dark scouting, so Dark doesn't really see this. Dark is building a handful of roaches, but these Zealots could still cause some real damage. I think they're just going to run straight into the natural. It's a cute little pressure from Hero. He's just going for it. Dark is trying to scramble over. And do you go for the queens? Okay, he's just going to A-move on top, trying to catch these queens in the open. Oh, good micro by Dark. He's going to throw some stasis traps on top. One Oracle does go down. Stasis trap kind of force fields a few of these units, but I don't think he's going to get crazy damage. He's got to focus the drones down, does Hero. That's the vulnerable units, but Dark with some bloody awesome defense. Another stasis does get him in the main. So, I mean, it's a little bit of damage. It's not like it's the worst trade for Hero in the world, as he does get a 4th base behind it as well. Still playing only 4. No, he's only on 3 gases. Oh, I love it. So he's not only attacking with Zealots and Oracles after the Adept Oracle aggression, he's now taking a 4th. And this is what I'm talking about. Hero is just this mix of what used to be pure aggression, but it's now tons of aggression with also a surprising economy behind it. The speed at which he expands is crazy. I mean, Dark here, he's trying to get up to about 70 workers. He's making Hydra upgrades of all things. We've seen a lot of the Koreans, because the Protoss players are playing ground a lot at the moment, they're trying to just play Roach Hydra into Lurker as their generic safe style. I do think Ravager Bane is usually better, especially against the Zealot opening. But big Zealot run by coming in from that right side. The Roaches are pretty close, though. You got to be careful, yeah. I mean, I like the way Hero's clearing the creep up. He's keeping Dark pinned in, right? He's cleared the creep here. He's cleared the creep from there. Cleared the creep from here. So you can see that he's just kind of creating problems. And he sends the Adept in. Not only is it going to kill a drone or 2, it's also going to scout that it's Hydra follow-up. Oh, well done. 2 drones as well. Can't believe it. 4th base is up. Only 67 workers for Hero because he's playing this low gas style still. So he's probably going to take a quick 5th base as well. He does have a 2nd Robo in the way, so we could pump out some Immortals. Oracles in the back. Dark is only on 61 drones. He just lost 8 drones? Where did he lose 8 drones? What? What just killed 8 drones? Sorry guys. I think maybe this warped Zealots in the main? Or maybe the Oracles just got workers and I wasn't even noticing. Either way, 8 workers just went down. Dark's economy is way behind Heroes in that regard. And you want to be ahead when you're making a pretty basic composition like Roach Hydra. That is an issue. We've got the 4th base now taking gases. Gases there as well. Okay, so he is doing the gas transition. It's going to be Blink Stalkers and Immortals. Very good Roach killing army. Immortals can, of course, deal with Lurkers as well. Still, a good number of Zealots roaming around the map. Overseer scouting through. We'll see 1 missing gas geyser. There's no Robo Bay yet. I think if you add a few Disruptors versus this, it's just game. Roach Hydra, defensively, offensively, is so bad versus Disruptors. And Hero is going to go Templar Archive. So he's just going to add Archons in here. But Archons do get massively outranged by Hydras and that sort of style, especially if he can get towards Lurkers, which Dark still has not built an infestation pit. He's literally maxing on Roach Hydra, and I think Dark is not playing against Protoss right now. Dark is a very intelligent player, and he realizes he's playing Hero. And if there's one thing that I've always said is Hero's weakness, is he just is unable to keep it in his pants. If there's one thing that's a sure thing, is that if there's like a 50-50 chance Protoss attacks here, there's a 99.9% chance Hero will attack in that situation. Hero does not like stopping attacking. He's gonna go for a YOLO morph. Oh my god, and he barely gets the Zealot warp it off. That's actually going to make this really hard to defend. Zealot's there, army posturing at the front at the same time. He's going to start overwhelming the queens there. The army over here at the front. As I said, you know he's going to attack into you. This is why Dark is being so conservative, maxing out on Lair Tech Roach Hydra. It's because he knows Hero's going to YOLO into him. And he actually kills a lot of the queens. There is only 1 queen left right there. She will barely survive. Not a bad little Zealot drop overall. I think it was all right. Units lost is still pretty even. It is in Dark's favor, but that's just the style Hero's playing, where Hero's going to be up on economy all game. Hero, interestingly, is taking the half. Oh, no, that is a full base. So he's expanding down the right side of the map. He's now going for the Robo Bay. I think he could have gone for that earlier. I do think earlier Disruptors create such a problem for your opponent, but he's going for the mass Zealot run by. Look at that. He's going to do a 20 Zealot attack in the natural while his army up here postures. But Dark is like, hey, that's not your whole army. He's already split his units up. And he's got a good spready here to deal with the force fields. Well done by Dark. His Hive's on the way. His second Evo Chamber's on the way. The Roach Hydra on the right side easily deflects the Zealots, but Hero quick to pull back. He's going to blink forward on that side, but he's out of force fields, so I think he'd be wise to pull back. Second Stargate and a Fleet Beacon on the way. Right now, Hero is just like, cool, you're turtling up on Roach Hydra on 4 base? Dude, I got 5 bases. I'm gonna build cannon battery. I'm gonna go for 4 Stargate transition. I'm gonna make all the things. I'll just do everything at once because I've got map control. And this is the problem with playing Roach Hydra. No Ling Bane run bys, no counter attacks. Just camping on Roach Hydra with no lurkers, no Vipers out. It's been so slow for him to evolve his tech. The Zealots take a fight here, but that is not a good fight. The Hydras were protected in the back, and they slay the Zealots. Good fight there for Dark. Cleans up a lot of the Zealots. The rest of the army will come down. Heroes continues to trade poorly, but you know what, guys? I don't even know if trading poorly matters in a game like this. That being said, Dark is going for a giant attack. There are disruptors coming out, though, and recall, of course, should be available. Hero might just dive on him. Oh my god, watch out for the balls. Watch out for the balls. Oh my god, balls could be massive. Balls! Balls, 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 balls. He's going to recall as well, and he has a ball coming out, and Zealots. Ball! Ball! Oh, focus fire! Dark focus fired it, and the battery, but, oh man. It doesn't matter when a whole army of Immortal Zealot recalls on top of you like that, your army still gets mids. He killed a Robo, he killed a Disruptor, he killed 14 probes. He did kill some stuff, but, oh, I don't know. Dark is only on 70 workers. Rebuilding that army is possible with his bank. He's swapping into lurkers. He's getting the lurker upgrades. They'll be done in a minute or two. I mean, his army's not terrible, but he definitely should add some Vipers in here just to grab Immortals and so on. Maybe Blinding Cloud, and as we can see, Tempest transition. What? Okay, so Hero's like, dude, you know what? I need units that can attack you from far away and just outrage. I'm just gonna make Tempest as a way of just hitting you from far away and saying, hey, dickhead, come and fight me. Come and fight me. And yeah, I mean, that can technically siege down lurkers and spores and spines, which, yeah, Dark is going full turtle mode. He's just like, I'll just survive. Hero's just gonna keep attacking. As I said, he knows Hero will keep attacking into him. One thing you do need to remember to get here is the Tempest attack upgrade, so they do bonus 40 damage to buildings, because this is going to stall out. There's no way you're breaking through lurkers just by headbutting into it, right? He's just going to keep making lurkers, vipers, spores, and spines. It's hard to even get your detection in range of the lurkers, and I think Hero's period of like really just smashing in constantly is over. It's just base denial time. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't see this base down here. Okay, he's splitting his army up. He's got some Zealot Stalker there. Dark's happy to skirmish. Actually, accidentally chases him into the hatchery. So Hero's going to clean this base up right now. Gets that one. If he can deny this base, that would be huge, but there's plenty of lurkers there. The Tempests are now here, plus a lot of air weapons on the way. A third Robo, I think. Oh, no, that's just rebuilding the second Robo that got sniped. Fair enough. Changelings like, oh, hey, guys, we're just one of the boys. We're Zealots. Yeah. Zerg are dirty, aren't they? They're dirty, aren't they? Yeah, we're part of the boys. Well, Tempests on the left side start to pick off those units, push the lurkers back, get a queen, get a drone. Of course, they do one-shot drones, which is always nice. And the Disruptors are always there, ready to throw their balls out from afar. It's a two-pronged siege. Zealot Stalker on one side, thinking about going in, but they can't really do too much. Tempest on the other side, those Vipers are going to be like, nope, hey, dummy. Goodbye, Disruptors. Goodbye, Tempest. Oh, my God. Dark just literally yanks every single one of his important units and kills them, but he's got to stop rallying drones through here. He's being really inefficient with the drone transfer, and Dark, remember, does not have as many bases and economy as Hero, but if he can defend this base and keep on like just abducting the Tempest, abduct the Tempest, that'll be big. But there is an observer there. He should know that there's Vipers back there. Should Hero, if he can protect the Tempest from abduct with feedback, then he should be able to do well. But look at that, Dark snipes the observer. So Hero doesn't actually have a detection up here. And bam! Grabbing another Tempest. Dark! Sorry, what was that I was saying about Dark being dead and refusing to die? The Rigor Mortis Zerg sits upright in his coffin, grabs the Undertaker Hero, and starts fucking choking him to death with his Vipers, man! He's killing all of his important units! These trades are so bad for Hero, even though Hero is killing so many drones and stuff rallying. These fights are so good for Dark. Dark's just like Hydras, Lurkers, Vipers all day, dickhead. Let's go, man! And Hero, what's he got? More Tempests! He's like, well, I'm trading terribly. I'm down 1,000 resources despite having so many things go my way this game. You know what? I'm going to keep just making Tempests, and I'm just going to overwhelm you with 4 Stargate Tempest Rally. He's like, your 2 Vipers aren't going to be able to abduct everything. Eventually, I'm going to land the feedback. Eventually, I'm going to do that. I do think the big thing he's missing is Oracle. And yeah, there we go. He's building the Oracle, guys. So if he has an Oracle, he can tag the Vipers, see them coming in, and quickly run forward with his High Templar and feedback them. That's what he's been lacking. You can see he's trying to use Hallucination, but once again, he gets 2 feedbacks that time, but only after 2 Tempests go down. Did a Viper get taken out? Not a single Viper has died yet this game. Hero, though, is relentless. He's saying, look, you don't always have energy. If I can just pick away at you in between you gathering energy on these Vipers, then maybe I can do some stuff. Dark's getting frustrated, and he's going around. He's like, okay, let's just clear this up, go for a big Hydra counterattack. Meanwhile, I'll keep on picking off 1 or 2 units at a time. Doesn't have enough Hydras to seal the deal on that one. And he's got to keep gathering energy. He's lost 2 of his Vipers now. He's got to rebuild those. Trying to make Corruptors is Dark. Hero is honestly taking small bad trade, but they are loss leaders right now. This is the loss leader Protoss style. So a loss leader, guys, when you put on a discount that loses you money just to get people in the door. And that's kind of what he's doing right now. He's like, yes, the start of these fights suck, but I've just got more behind it. It's an endless rally of Immortal Tempest Storm. And Dark just can't keep up. He split way too much of his army off to the bottom right. He needed to keep more Hydras here. And Hero is willing to take 5 bad fights in a row to eventually crack through. You cannot underestimate his aggressive, relentless pursuit of victory in the most aggressive fashion. He recalls, he lands some 6 Storms, but he does land a lot of lose a lot of units there. That being said, look at that damaged Hydras versus Zealots. Look at how good Zealots are versus Hydras. Tail end of that fight goes very well for Hero. He keeps his probes up on this shitty half base or 2/3 base, whatever you want to call it. It is 3/4 minerals and only half gas, so I guess it is about 2/3 in total resources of a base. Hero has done fantastic to smother over Dark. Dark's lost all of his economy. He's got a base here, but it's the same shitty 3/4 base. He needs to retake this hatchery, and he needs to just cement his economy, but you've got so many targets to deal with. He's got to keep building Vipers. I feel like if he just keeps building Viper Hydra Lurker, he was trading so well here, but the moment he just got frustrated and was like, fuck this, and just sent 30 Hydras across, I think he just gave up the support. If he sent 15 Hydras across, maybe 20, that would have been fine. But all 30, losing 60 supply from his army was not good. There's now so many Tempests. He doesn't have any Vipers. He's got 17 Corruptors that obviously wreck Tempests. But if they're flying over Archons, the Archons and the Storm could kill them. So yeah, he's going to dive anyway. Crazy Dark. Yeah, he loses a Corruptor or 2 there already. Not looking great in that fight. If he can kill all the other stuff with the Lurkers, it's okay. But he definitely needs the Vipers. They've been the secret to his success. Now he's like, oh damn, I lost them all, didn't I? He's rebuilding them. But Hero is just so in his face that Dark cannot breathe. And Hero right now is Zerging the Zerg player. Dark is doing his best Protoss impression. He's like, oh look, I'm building shield batteries and cannons. Oh, look at me. I've got my little, here's my disruptors. And how I'm trying to make Void Rays. I'm like, dude, you know you're not a Protoss player, right? He's like, I've got flying High Templar. Look at me. I'm like, Dark, you're meant to be the Zerg. You're meant to be running around swarming. Meanwhile, Hero's like, YOLO, A move, YOLO, A move. Hero is the one who's playing much more like a Zerg right now. And they're doing their weird little role reversal. The Observer on the right side will come in and get a bit of vision. The Oracle is the best detection because look at that. It's just going to tag all the Lurkers, yeah? Yeah. Oh, guys, he forgot to get the building damage upgrade. He's been attacking spores for the last 8 minutes with his Tempest. He's just started Tectonic Destabilizers. Holy shit. Hero playing Mass Tempest to break static defense literally didn't make the upgrade to kill static defense. There's only Hero. Only Hero could be the best Protoss in the world who's this effing sloppy while also being this exceptional. You know what? He just takes it to a weird mud wrestling place. Dark's had enough. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it. 2 Disruptors, but they only land on 2 of the Lurkers. Lurkers coming in from all sides. He's got to keep moving those Lurkers forward. You cannot chase over the Archons. You're going to lose all of these Corruptors and Vipers. Nice feedback. Really good tactical retreat there from Hero. I think if Dark had flanked with some more Lurkers, he could have killed that whole army. Remember that Adaptive Talons is still awesome, even though the burrow speed is slightly nerfed from what it used to be. I do think Dark could have got a surround there. As it is, guys, let's look at the income tab. So as you can see, Dark got a 500 mineral, maybe 800 minerals a minute advantage for a solid minute, and the other 10 minutes has been all Hero. Hero has had so much more mining this game. He cancels this base. He's still only down by a couple hundred resources in the units lost. And if you've just got freedom, when was the last time Dark left his corner of the map, right? Dark is playing Turtle Zerg up against a super active, dominating Protoss who's eating up the whole map. And yeah, he can take some bad trades because as long as he breaks through the line at some point, that's where he'll get insane efficiency and make up for it. Okay, here we go. Vipers and Corruptors coming forward. Does get one abduct. Not bad, not bad. It's all about the vision battle, but there's an observer there. Oracle's coming in. He's going to try and... Oh, not the best tag. There's a whole bunch of lurkers there. And Hero's rotating around this top side. Observer sees it. A couple changelings there. Dark's splitting off all of his lurkers. He assumes for some reason that Hero's not going to the top, even though he saw the army going there. Oh, Dark's going to base trade? Dark is trying to base trade. Now, Dark is a guy who basically trusts in his ability to handle crazy situations better than most. So I'm not that surprised, I guess. The Oracle here is going to tag some of these lurkers. That lurker will go down. Dark, he's going to split so many lurkers to the bottom right. A lot of the... Oh, this lurker, unable to find the room to burrow. A few lurkers will go down to cannons, but for the most part, they will bust through the defenses. Dude, this is getting busted through so easily. The Corruptor Viper, though, he does dive on the Tempest. He's got one little lurker that flanked in. Oh, man, the Storm Archon, though. Oh, the Storm Archon. Oh, ow. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. If you don't have the lurkers dealing with the High Templar, the Corruptors will get overwhelmed, and Hero swarming over the top from start to finish. Swarm Protoss pretty bloody good. And I think Dark, regretting the fact that he did not commit to Ravager Bane that game, I can't think he's happy playing Roach Hydra so turtily, yet a lot of the Koreans not playing Ravager Bane. The Europeans are playing Ravager Baneling. There's real differences in the styles. Likewise, the Protoss player is usually very slow to go to Disruptors. The Europeans very quick to go to Disruptors. Fascinating to see the differences between the different meta. Let's go to game 2. Alright guys, let's go into the next game. We've got Dark in the bottom left here of Hardwire. This probe is being very annoying for Hero, blocking him, forcing him to take his third base. Hero in the top right, just once again doing a nice economic build. Not really skipping the probe scout much, but we see once again Hero's famous for his optimized openings, just like Dark. Having 4 on one gas and 1 on the other is pretty common. I don't think I've ever seen Hero do 2 on one gas, 2 on the other before saturating them. He always goes 3 on one gas, 0 on the other gas. Even though we know the third one is inefficient. So it's a true matchup of champions. And I think what Dark and Hero I enjoy about them is they're professional players at the top of the game who are too lazy to fix basic mistakes in their early game. And yet they're still so much better than the players that do that. And it just shows how 1 or 2 details can be missing in your play. You can make mistakes in StarCraft, and it doesn't matter if you've got the heads up, big brain, strategic understanding to like stay in control of the situation, not panic, and really just have that top-down view of what's most important in StarCraft. So it shows that there is, even at the top level, basic things that don't necessarily get fixed that often. Doesn't matter, doesn't make them really bad, doesn't make them perform that badly overall. Yes, obviously, they should fix those mistakes and just get better at their early game a little bit, because it's like a free advantage every game that would make them even better. But it reminds us that StarCraft is a vast game with so many things to focus on. Even the guys playing full-time at the top have work to do. And it's a never-ending room for improvement. That's what I find so addictive about StarCraft, is you've always got so much choice in terms of what you want to get better at. I think a lot of people often feel trapped, like they have to do one thing that they've seen a pro be successful with recently. And I'm always like, heck no. You can choose what you want to improve at in StarCraft, and you can get better at just that now. Oracle comes in, but there's already a Spore behind it. Was not expecting to find that. Ooh, flies back through the other queen. Ooh, rough start for Hero. Remember, did a pylon block, didn't really achieve anything with that. The Oracle now takes a bunch of damage as well. Third base is on the way. So it's still an economic quick third. Has a 4 worker lead, and is going to go quick robo. Okay, he's going to go for that pretty quick robo. Maybe get some immortal production going after this. It is 2 Oracles, no third one. Dark is back on mining gas at the moment. His link speed is finished. He's got a lair started very early. My god, that's a quick lair, guys. That lair started on 4 minutes. Normally against the Stargate build, where you're building 5-6 queens, spore crawlers, you would go for like a 445 lair as an, like maybe 440, 430 as the earliest. The 4 minutes, that's a very cheeky one. So Dark, he could be rushing Mutas this game. He could also be rushing a Night Swim. Oracle's come back in for another dive. Oh, buddy, get out, get out, get out, get out. Okay, so Hero actually does some awesome damage there, and he sees the lair upgrading, but he only saw it at about 440. And as I said, 430, 440 is not too crazy. He does miss this Overlord on the right side. Guys, I'm having a feeling this is a Night Swim, because he's built a fair number of queens, no Roach Warren yet. If he drops, and no more gases for the Mutas just yet. So, yeah, okay, he's gonna go Nidus Worm. All right, this is the Chadray Annihilator Dark Edition. So basically, this is a build guide that I did ages ago after watching Dark do it, and I came up with a way of doing it that's infinitely more efficient than his one. His one is like so many workers that he has an amazing transition off it, but it hits a lot later than you can if you do it a bit earlier and faster. What's great though about Dark's version is it's very hard to read because it looks like a normal opening at first glance. Now, that being said, Hero did see not that many drones on this third base when those oracles were in there at 440. I think that should be a tell in of itself. But these Zerglings of Dark are just distracting. And there we go. The Nidus Worm's going to go up on the left side. He's going to have 6 queens, 8 queens popping out. Mass Zerglings. Dark does need to drop a 4th base because he has so many minerals. He will float like a mother trucker off this economy. I normally tell people to do this off about 38 workers. He's doing it with 10 extra workers, man. He's going to float money like crazy. Lings are coming in right now, and they're going to attack here. The Sentry and the Adept are getting focused. He wastes the Oracle energy. He gets the Oracles to turn on their energy. Nidus in the back of the main. Immortal trying to defend. There's only 1 pylon. No shield battery on the natural right now. Probes are being pulled to fight. Nidus Worm is going to get shut down in the main, but that's going to use up all of the Oracle's energy doing that. Lings coming in from the right side. The Immortal Adept Sentry trying to fight. Probes do put up a good account, but 14 of them have already died. Oracles have done their job, but they're out of energy, which means the Oracles are dead weights. The Void Ray, I don't know where that Void Ray is. Looks like it has pulled back now. It's going to go clean up the Overlord, but with 2 gateways depowered, he's only got 1 gateway and 1 robo for production. Hero just can't make units right now, and even as he repowers this, for how long? He's got to warp in Zealots right now. Warp in, but he doesn't have minerals. He's building a Prism right now to try and do some fancy micro, but I mean, he's just got so few units. Building batteries at the 3rd. His natural's going to get focused down, and Dark has already started transitioning. Mass Queens, drones, a Roach Horn, and 4 gases all at once behind it. So Dark is saying, look, I'm not going to breach your main. That's fine. Might be able to kill your 3rd, maybe, but I don't even need to commit to that. You're in such a shit position. As I said, Dark is floating a lot of money here. I guess because he goes for all his gases at once, he kind of was okay with that. Lings do come in. Not really going to find any damage. Doesn't want to fight against the battery overcharge potential there. Dark. Now he's going to go for that 4th base. As you can see, like I said, floating 1,000 minerals. So he does set up pretty decently for the push, but because he pulls every queen across the map, he misses injects while he's doing it. And he waits until he builds a new round of queens. So he misses a good 30 seconds or more of injecting. Which is why I do think a couple macro hatches, 5th base, that sort of stuff would be awesome for him right now. Overall, though, he's massively in the lead. He should be able to tie up the series from here. He's up against what looks like a Charge Immortal Arc on counterattack. Hero has not rebuilt his 3rd just yet. He's very slowly cleaning up the Nidus Worms. He's sending a Zealot drop across the map. He's got just a handful of units defending. Changeling is scouting that there's no expansion. But Pylons, Templar Archives, Immortals. He's building extra gateways and no 3rd. I mean, this is so easy for Dark. He sees no 3rd. He's like, okay, I'll just make Mass Roach Ravager, defend your 2 base all in. Easiest win of my life. Hero, though, does catch him out of position. Zealot drop in the main base is going to go in. Grabs a drone. Going to grab another 1 or 2. Nice. The Prism's going to go around. I love seeing the variety, honestly, in these styles because we are no longer seeing just the Void Ray meta. But the fact that Dark is still making his Queen Walk build or his anti-Void Ray Queen Nidus Ling build work kind of shows me that definitely Hero's scouting was a little bit off. So at the end of this game, I'm going to rewind to when those Oracles dove this natural, because I think that should have been a big tell. Like, hey, why does my opponent not have any workers on their 3rd base? It's like 4 drones there at, I think, 440. That's like a pretty terrible economy for a Zerg player of Dark's caliber. And that does kind of hint at something. Might be one of those edge case reads where you're not 100% sure on it. But definitely with Dark's ability to just floodling Bane randomly across the map or to Nidus Worm you, you've always got to have that in the back of your mind as a Protoss player. Drones getting pulled off. Already 2 of them go down. Nice little drippy droppy. It's going to go back into the main base as well. Says, hey, queens are pretty immobile. Might as well just dive for it. This is really good disruption. And he's actually going to go Storm and a 3rd and try to provoke. So Hero's going to try to come back. He is so outnumbered, though. We are going to need to see the Storms to end all storms. If I was Hero, I'd be going Disruptors and a 4th base and just turtling. Because he can transfer probes down here. This 3rd's finally getting up. Man, he took so long to rebuild it, though. Oracles could get some damage. Okay, that's pretty nice. I mean, Dark's economy is not insane. It's a very basic army of pure Roach Sling. It really is. Like, you see that army, you've just got to survive. Can you survive with 3 Immortals, 4 Immortals with +2? He's going to have about 30 seconds. He'll get a 2nd Storm on all of those High Templar. The one thing he definitely can't do is break Dark. There's no way. Because Dark has so many roaches, the only play for Hero is, like I said, maybe go Disruptors, try to get a 4th up, but just turtle and defend. If you step on creep, you're going to get annihilated. Hero moving forward, though. Hero likes to attack, even when he sees 400 roaches that his opponent built. Hero, you crazy person. Dark baits out the 1st Storm, super ineffective. Hero's still pushing on forwards. I've told you guys before that Hero cannot keep it in his pants, even when it's so obvious. It's like, dude, there are sharp objects everywhere. You do not want to be messing around in here. You do not want to be trying to shove into this area. Nice focus fire. Gets one of the High Templar. Giant spready. Locust coming in. Biles take out the War Prism. Hero shoving in. It was a desperate attempt, but he gets absolutely annihilated. Dark just has too many units. And the thing is, even when Dark eats a Storm or two, obviously he's had that economy advantage this whole time. These fights needed to be next level efficient for Hero. Hero is now going to go back into probing. But I've got to be critical of the fact that he did take the third. He took the gases. He probed up as a little bit as if he wasn't committing to the all-in, but then he moved his army as if he was committing. And you can get away with this sort of like half-assed committal play when you're ahead like he was in game one. You can't do that when you're way behind. When you're behind, you have to put all your eggs in one basket and really work that one angle, that one advantage, or that one, maybe not advantage, but the smallest disadvantage that you can create at the very least. Swarmos Nidus on the left side, Roach Ravager Ling on the right side. Hero is in trouble right now, man. Oh, Biles! Don't quite get the Void Ray, but that one will. Oh, it goes down. Locust coming in from the left side. They're going to clean up a bunch of the Zealots as well. Another Nidus throwing up on the front side. He's got a good core of Immortals, does Hero, but each Immortal needs to kill 6 Locusts and 3 Roaches, and then he can possibly win this game. He's getting absolutely wrecked, man. Dude, he's getting absolutely wrecked. Okay, Roach Ravager running all around. Here we go. We've got the High Templar there. Okay, Roach Ravager. Oh, does drop some Biles down. Doesn't quite land it on those. We've got Swarm Hosts on the right side as well. Immortal Archon Storm roaming in the middle, trying to get a 4th base up. Hero's trying to make a sick defensive play. And I think if he went straight to this play, he would have been able to do it. But doing it as plan C, a little bit too late. Battery Overcharge ain't going to save you, buddy. Battery Overcharge not enough when you've got 30 Locusts all shooting machine gun acid spits. Wait. Is there a tech called Acid Spit? Did you guys just see that? That's complete nonsense. There's no way that's acid. They're clearly throwing spikes, aren't they? Is this one of those cases where the thing is confused, the tooltips are confused? Hero, oh wow, nice fight for Hero. Very, very good fight for Hero, actually. Pushing through Dark. He's out of Storm, though. He's got to morph these High Templar into Archons. This seems like a desperate A move for me. I don't think there's not much you can do here other than dodge Biles. There's so many Queens. Another round of Locust gets thrown defensively. The Roach Ravager is there. Those High Templar, easy targets, man. The Biles spreading across. Gets one of the Immortals already. He could just shove forward. I think if these Locusts get in here as well. Oh my god, watch the Locusts. Even for just a second in there, their damage is insane. They do so much damage. GG. Nice desperate counterattack from Hero, but he's been a dead man walking for ages in this game. I can't believe a Chadray Annihilator is still working. Dark has this quality of pulling out these super random all-ins, and he makes it work all the time. Now let's go back and take a look here at Hero's vision, guys. So we're watching this from Hero's vision. He comes in with his oracles. Does he actually pay attention? So, not that many drones in the main, like there's no second gas there. It kills a few drones there. He switches home to build some pylons, and then he goes in here and he sees what looks like about eight workers maybe. He kills one, so it's about at least 7 or 8 workers coming in. It's about 4:30. It does feel pretty late to only be getting your first 8 workers there, but I don't think it's late enough to make a big solid read off of like, oh, he's definitely all-inning me, because he doesn't know that lair might have just started. It is a pretty quick lair though. But I think clearly Hero did not make the read of, oh shit, I'm about to get Nidus, right? There's no big tells of this one, like, oh, there's a Roach Horn really early. There's Roaches popping out, unless you see the lair already finished. So if he came in and scouted it now, as it finishes, that would have been way more effective for Hero. But as it is, getting these 2 gateways depowered straight away, not being able to group up, you know, huge issues for Hero. And the thing is, even if he fell back to the natural with all of his units and defended, losing your third puts you in a very compromised position. I do think it would have been better to give up the third and keep the natural alive, keep these gateways up, but without a shield battery there or anything like that, you got to keep in mind he's playing very greedy. He's played Void Ray, 2 Oracles. Yeah, okay, cool. He built 3 air units. He's got a few Adepts. Now he does build Immortals, which definitely help versus Roaches, but they don't really do bonus damage versus Queens and Lings, so they're not the best tool, especially with how resource intensive they are. 275 minerals, 100 gas. And he's gone Stargate, Robo, Twilight, Forge. He's literally got every single tech structure before building a 3rd gateway. And that's the greed that we're talking about in terms of this. So the thing is, Hero was trying to cut those corners because he had a few Oracles Void Rays. He was like, no, we'll be fine with just the Immortals. But with no vision or realization that this was coming, having to recall his Oracles home, he was just in a huge, huge issue. And in general, this is also a weakness of going charge, right? He's going charge and +1, but Zealots, slow Zealots, they're not terrible versus Zerglings, but they are terrible versus the big stack of Queens because they're just slow and shitty and they get kind of out-microed. Usually against this sort of push, I think you'd be a bit happy with something a bit more flexible like Stalker Sentry and mostly just Stalkers. And if you have like a battery there, some Stalkers, battery here and some Stalkers, it's really hard for Dark to get too much done, especially with the Oracles helping out. You've also got to account for the fact though that these Oracles got baited really hard. And this is a huge, normally already the Oracles are very low on energy. And I was talking to a few Protoss pros about this recently. I was like, dude, yeah, like Oracle energy, anytime you're diving in for damage past like even 4 minutes 30, it's kind of dangerous, right? Because if you don't have extra energy, and especially because you didn't get the third Oracle, if you turn your lasers on, and that was a huge mistake, turning his lasers on there is massive. Because now he's basically saying, hey, these guys can shoot for the next 30 seconds and then they're dead weights. And he F2s to the natural, sends them up into the main to clean that one up, cleans it up, and then they don't do anything. Whereas normally those Oracles can always pull back if the Zerglings surround your units. Like this fight up here in the natural, right? If the Oracles flew over here, they kill these Zerglings, and then you're not losing 14 probes. So having those Oracles in position, getting any realization of what's up can be huge. Dark's ability to pull out these gambles, a big part of what makes him so hard to play against. He's just always mixing these wild plays in, never afraid to take risks. Great play by Dark, he ties up the series. All right, let's go game number 3. We've got Dark in the bottom left, Hero in the top right. Hero, that was an interesting game. I think it's just one of those ones where he's like, okay, I was just a bit too aggressive. My last Oracle dive should have been probably a bit more conservative and use them for scouting. It's also the weakness, I think, of having the Void Ray almost. I prefer the third Oracle because you can just leave one scouting while the other two go home to defend and set up stasis traps and whatever else, what have you. Now, of course, Dark sending this drone out, not super early, but not super late. For Dark, that's a pretty crisp drone time. He's going to take the front hatchery. 51, 52 seconds, 17 hatch. Not bad, not bad. And Hero, of course, happy to cause that delay, goes into the main base, and the probe will begin its work denying the mineral patches. So the Chadray Annihilator build's still working. I wonder if Dark still mixes in his kind of 45-50 drone. I'm just randomly going to make a bunch of Banelings. So if the Protoss, say, takes this front third, he'll just like randomly make Banelings over here or over here, dodge the Oracles by using like Lings on the Watchtower and Overlords. He'll sneak out like 30, 40, 50 Lings, and then he'll just surprise, bust the Adept in the wall, and run Lingbane into the third and the Natural at the same time. And it's like, it's not an all-in, it's just like this very weird, surprising timing attack that is so easily defended if the Protoss realizes it's coming. And this is how a lot of Dark's attacks work versus Protoss. It's not, oh, this is just a good attack if I just copy it to the timing, because it's only a good attack if the Protoss doesn't realize it's coming. And that's the power of Dark. He does things which, you know, the confounding nature of playing against him. I've talked to like Showtime in the past and they've lost him and they're like, yeah, he does a lot of builds that shouldn't work. It's like other players like, oh, this shouldn't work because there's such a good chance the Oracle seeing the Lings move out and like just countering it. But Dark's such an expert at not letting that happen, right? And sometimes you don't factor that in. You're like, no, the Oracles should see this. And Dark's like, nope, 80% of the time I hide this Lingbane attack and they don't know it's coming and I just get massive damage. Like I remember a game versus Stats where he did it and Stats was so busy microing at the third, 3 or 4 Banelings walked in and killed like 30 probes in his natural, and it was Stats. And Stats, Oracles were nearby, he had enough units to defend, he was just so surprised by it that he reacted poorly. And that's Dark, man. He's not gonna make it easy for you, Hero. So Hero, I think, might be... I wonder if he's a bit safer or if he just scouts more aggressively in this game. Going for a nice quick third on 31 is Dark, just before doing his injects. Now, I always inject first because you can see he actually injected about 4 seconds late there. If you're going for a creep tumor first, it's not the biggest deal, I guess, because you're only missing 1 inject for a few seconds. But it's like this little detail is you always go inject, inject, and then 32 hatch is something I like to do because I prioritize those injects starting to the second. Really, really important. Oracle is on the way. We've got an Adept there. Overlord poking in. I talked earlier about how I like the Stalker coming out after the Oracle. And that's a good way to do it. Because that Overlord's in too deep. Yeah, he does see the Oracle building, but I don't think he gets out of there. Stalker should be able to hunt that one down. Already a 6 probe lead as well, so Hero's been really working the probes. And he's going 4 gas on 2 base. Oh, hello. What are you up to, Hero, you cheeky bugger? No quick third for him this game, guys. He could still take it at 4:35 minutes, but he's not going to be able to build a 3-minute 50 third base, the standard third base. Now, that's going to give Dark something to worry about. Dark is already kind of looking for proxies, but he didn't actually do a good job. He didn't check the corners. So he's checked like the closest spots for proxies, but there could be a proxy there. It's just, it couldn't be there. It could be there as well. So Dark doing we call that a Legacy of the Void Scout. For those who don't know, back in Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, a single pylon could warp in at the same speed as like out in the middle of the map, even without a gateway or a nexus next to it. So you could just hide a single little pylon in a corner and bam, warp in 20 zealots and go kill your opponent. So every Zerg was so methodical in Heart of the Swarm at checking every corner of the map. And in Legacy of the Void, it's like maybe 10% of the games the Zerg does a lazy check like Dark did, and that's only because Hero is such a cheeky player. So this is the way it works these days. Ooh, that's a lot of lings. Does he go for the Nexus snipe? I think it's got way too many hit points. He agrees with me. He's going to recall an Oracle apparently, so he's recalling the one that was stuck behind the enemy base. And damages the Stalker, doesn't get a kill. 2 drones, 5 Zerglings, and Overlord. This looks like a pretty good units loss tab for the Protoss so far. And the third base, what time did that start? It still started just before 4 minutes. Oh, what the hell? How did he do that? How do you get a third up that quick while getting 3rd and 4th gas? Did he cut some probes? I guess he just didn't make as many Adepts. He's only now made the extra Adept and Shield Battery after seeing the heavy Zergling count. And he's swapping into 2 Stargate Phoenix. Hero, I mean, that third base looks like a normal fast third. There's some tiny details here that I would need to like slow down the replay and replay it multiple times to show you. But he has managed to disguise this very well. He's got 2 Oracles out. He's got a quick third. It looks exactly the same as the previous game, which was obviously going Robo Twilight Forge. But he's massing Phoenix at a rapid rate, and he's keeping the worker count dead even. Oh, this is really bad for Dark. Because if Dark doesn't realize what's up, and I mean, his lair, it will finish. He needs to get an Overseer or something in straight away. Then he could be in big trouble. Queens are deflecting the Oracles very well so far. But if you don't have a really good worker lead and then these Phoenix surprise you, you can be in big trouble. He's got 6 Queens, which is a good beginning to the defense. Oracle comes in. Still only 4 drones total killed. So there's 6 Queens. He's going to drop a Spire is Dark. He's trying to put that here. Really hard area for the Protoss to scout, because he's got Queens all around as well as Spores all around. But here comes the Phoenix. Uh-oh. 8 Phoenix on the map. The first 7 are going to fly in. He goes straight for the Queen. He wants to take Dark's anti-air off the board. Does take it out. Obviously takes a bit of damage. Another Queen. Ooh. And he could go Stasis Trap. Is he going to go? Yeah, he's going for the Stasis Trap. You cheeky bugger. But Dark quickly responds. Sends a Roach. If he could have trapped the Queens on the ramp, that would have been GG, because they wouldn't be able to move between the bases. But nice counterplay by Dark. Nonetheless, he's taking a lot of damage right now. Hero has not lost a single unit. Oh, dude, and Dark's supply block. Dark does have an 8 worker lead, so he's not down on workers. If you start losing 20 drones here and you're supply blocked, then you're in a really bad spot. Hasn't happened just yet. Hero's still looking for Queen kills, looking for bigger value targets. We've got some Lings on the right side. Hero, of course, is going to be going Immortals +1, all that sort of stuff behind this. He will be making a ground transition behind it. It's very delayed when you've invested in 11 Phoenix. But look at this. He still hasn't lost a single unit. 1 Phoenix is down to 1 hit point, 0 shields. Another one, 9 hit points, but at full shields. 6 drones extra have gone down in that last minute. Shield battery in the natural, shield battery cannons in the third. This sort of desperate counterattack trying to pull the Phoenix home won't really achieve anything. And still not a single unit has died here. For Hero, dude. Oh, Hero is playing such a clean game, and now he's like, okay, I'll go kill your roaches. You run across the map with roaches? All right. All right, buddy, no worries. I've got, you know what? He's going up to 5 gateways. He's got a Twilight Council, more Immortals on the way. He's picking up all of the Zerglings, all of the roaches here as well. And he's going to counterattack across the map and look for the kill on the 4th base. What do you have as Dark? 5 Corruptors. He's trying to go up to 9 Corruptors, but he has nothing on the ground except for the Queens. And the Corruptors are still in pretty small numbers. With Transfuse, though, I think he's happy to fight here. Good. Double Transfuse does go down. That obviously Stasis Trap is scary. I actually think Hero can take a 4th base right now as well. This would be crazy. If he can just get ahead, then he can swarm like he did on Glittering Ashes. He's going up to 8 gateways, blink and +1. So he's going to play a blink stalker style. Obviously, stalkers shoot up, so they're kind of good there. The Phoenix going for a cheeky run by the Corruptors, a little bit out of position. What can Hero find? It's a dangerous move. And there are 2 Spore Crawlers in this main base. He pulls back. He goes around a 3rd Spore Crawler even. If you could get the Overlords, that would be pretty good. But the Corruptors are nearby. I think he just tries to get out at this point. Just get away before those Corruptors hunt you down. Yeah, 2 Spores in the natural as well. Dark's well defended. Army on the top side comes in. He'd like to shave some of these units off, but Hero hasn't been able to find the mark. He's dropping a Robo Bay and taking a 4th at the same time. I love it, guys. You know I've been so critical of Protoss players not taking Disruptors early enough, but I love it, especially when you've already got Phoenix out. Phoenix aren't really going to be able to finish the game, but oh my god, despite it, he's able to kill the 4th base. Dark knocked back to 3 bases. The Phoenix have just done so well. Look at the units lost. Only 3 of Hero's units have gone down to 51. That's right, guys. I don't know about you. I'd be pretty happy if each of my units traded for 17 Zerg units. If my games looked like this literally ever, I would be pretty damned happy. I feel like I'd be pretty good at that, especially against Dark of all bloody players. The Corruptors, the Roaches, the Ravagers, Zerglings coming in. The Oracle will get sniped down. The Roach Ravager Zergling's going to try and chase his army down. A couple Biles there to break those force fields. Corruptors fighting the Phoenix. Phoenix getting massively outgunned and overwhelmed. Hero has overextended and Dark says, hey, dickhead, it's not going to be that easy. Remember, I'm the bloody rigor mortis Zerg, man. Doesn't matter if you've got more economy than me. I will kill all your important units. On the other hand, he is losing all of his Ravagers. Oh, luckily for him, no more Warpins available. Units lost tab does look to be in the favor of Hero, of course. But, I mean, he kept 8 Phoenix alive. I thought he lost more Phoenix than that. Has a 4th base up. Dark is going 4th and 5th base. Only now rebuilding. Oh, no. He's going +1 roach speed. Okay, so Dark basically is stuck in a dark place. And the dark place is basically, it's a locked room. And there's this little button in the middle that you can press. And it basically says spawn, roach, and prey. And you're like, what? And all you can do is press that roach button repeatedly. Pray, occasionally another button pops out that says make Ravager and drop Bile. And that's all Dark can do. Now, the thing is, if it wasn't Dark, I would have no faith. But because it's Dark, him and Raynor are the 2 players who could come back from here. They have made some of the most disgusting mass Ravager comebacks where they're like, yeah, nothing to lose. Might as well just fight my heart out. And they have made it happen. But I feel like you've got Phoenix being annoying. You've got Stalkers on the ground with big upgrade advantage. You're going to be +2 versus +1 for a long time in this game. You've got a 5th base going down. He's taken a half base. Hero just likes to expand on one side of the map, I think, because he likes to defend his bases through his aggression. But most importantly, the Disruptors are rallying out, and a big firm set of balls to back up these flexible, agile Stalkers. That's the sort of stuff that I think gives Zerg nightmares, especially a Zerg who is stuck on a relatively average economy, massing basic Roach Ravager units. He's going to go Infestation Pit. He's going to try and get a Hive. I mean, that's definitely where the comeback potential is, but look at this. Hero understands, okay, yeah, you're barely hanging on the front, but guess what? Charge is going to be added in. I'm going to add in these counterattacks. He picks up some Queens so they can't get out of there too well. Corruptors do punish, but I mean, the Phoenix keep baiting him forwards, picking off these Queens and Spore Crawlers and whatnot. Oh, he's going to wait for even more. Zealots are going to go in on that top side. Dark cannot lose his 4th base. Remember, he's just gotten back to a decent economy, but here come the Zealots. The Zealots are going to go in. He's actually going to target the hatchery. Okay, very wise from Hero. He says that can't run away. Oh, Disruptors do zone out the units. He's going to kill a few of the Corruptors, but he has emptied his balls. Of course, unloading a bit too early is the mistake of a lot of young Protoss. Hero very experienced, surprising to see him make that mistake, but I think it's just because he's fighting on so many sides of the map at once. Both of his balls will get crushed as a punishment for that, but he's got 2 fresh ones coming in. It's Hero's regenerative abilities, his ability to just swarm over. Remember, he didn't care about losing Tempests and Glittering Ashes. He doesn't care about losing Disruptors here. You can pick off these units all you want. He's got more behind it, and he will not let up. He will not give you room. Dark is frantically trying to regrow his economy, but he's down 14 workers and down 2 bases. And Dark is just pushed up against the wall and overwhelmed once again. Hero's ability to get ahead in this matchup, second to none. And this build order especially was a tricky piece of debauchery. I've got to go study the opening for just a minute here and try to understand, because normally you take these 2 gases, you can't get a 3rd up quickly. But here's the secret. No 3rd or 4th gateway unit, guys. He skipped the Void Ray, so he's building just 2 Oracles, which is cheaper, right? He doesn't queue a 3rd Oracle, and he doesn't build a 3rd gateway unit. 1 Stalker in the wall, 1 Adept, and he's also denied scouting with the Stalker, which is why these gases haven't been scouted, right? So he's able to drop the 3rd Nexus, and he even cuts probes to do it. Look at that. It's not a lot of probe cutting, but look, he's cutting probes right now. I said he must have cut some probes because there's no way you can get double gas, double Stargate before third Nexus, right? Now he does go Nexus, then second Stargate. But the moment he starts the Nexus, he builds 2 probes, builds a pylon, he puts his workers on gas, and then he builds a second Stargate. Oh, so he saves 100 minerals by not building any extra adepts. Remember, he doesn't throw any adepts across the map. He doesn't sacrifice 2 adepts. He chronoed his probes early as well to get the economy boost. So this looks at face value the same. Doesn't build the 3rd Oracle, right? He even delays production and then goes into Phoenix. Gets the 2nd Stargate, and he just chrono boosts. And from there, it's pretty much non-stop probes, Phoenix, pylons, probes, Phoenix, pylons, right? So it's really solid, good play, adds an adept as needed. But it just, to Dark, this looks so much like a normal build. I wouldn't, like, normally you see that the Nexus go down 4 minutes 10, you think, oh, maybe there's a sneaky Glaives full lot. You see it go 4:30 or 5 minutes, you're worried about Phoenix coming out or something like this. If there's no Nexus down at 4:30, but if they've got it at 4 minutes, there's nothing that rings alarm bells for you as Dark in this game. This is a perfectly disguised build order from Hero. And I honestly, if I was looking at this as Dark, I would just be like, I'm going to go message Rogue or someone and be like, dude, can you tell me how to stop this build? Because, like, I don't know how you scout this outside of just having an insanely fast, like, Overlord, or maybe have some Zerglings forward and at least you see the Phoenix fly out. I don't know how you spot this build ahead of time. This is a really tough problem to solve. Hero with a genius build order. I love it. Gets the 2-1 victory.